chemical sprayer with lighter. How to make it lighter? Interesting. Well, maybe right now would be a good time to have a little fun, shall we? Ooh, 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 ooh. Hold. Wow! Oh, look at it go! Oh my goodness! Woo! Look at it go! That is amazing. I should not be in this house with this. Oh, this is so cool. This video is not about a chemical sprayer. Oh, no, no, no. I'm just showing that to you guys because, I mean, like, come on. It's pretty cool, right? No, this episode is all about magic that we're whipping up. We are going to be building our first railroad network. I think I have everything. I have most of it. This is going to be a fun episode because we are going to be putting together officially our very first railway network. Now, this is no easy task because we have got a lot of work we need to do. I have already made progress by making 2 shulker boxes of train track, just doing the standard length. I have no idea how much I need, so that's a start. And I got some building blocks, I got some train stuff, and I got some other remaining stuff. The sturdy sheets is there ready to go in case I need more train stuff. So this episode, we got a lot planned. Now, let's talk about our plan. Plan number 1, or plan A, the first part of our plan for today. Building a railroad network to go from my massive storage area in the blue building and building a railway network that allows me to pick up gold from the gold farm. So what we're going to have to do is that we're going to have to make a system that allows gold to fall down, and there's like a station here that gets picked up, and all the gold will be dropped off onto a train, and the train will just run back and forth from the Nether to where it's currently stopped at my base. This right here is going to be the current stopping point for the train. Now, all of the gold nuggets and the ingots are going to be dropped off here. This configuration may or may not be final. I'm still trying to figure that out. And it's going to go into here. The gold nuggets are just going to drop off into here because we need the golden nuggets to make golden carrots. And the golden ingots, they're going to go into a bulk storage area over here where I can hold on to it so I can use it for farming, for bartering. And it will also go into this barrel right here that will be used to make precision mechanisms because we need a few of those precision mechanisms. There's a lot that we have to do with those, so that's where we're going. And then the next part of the plan, as a trial run, we are going to make 2 networks by connecting to the witch farm that's down there and to the stronghold that is down there. Now, I have gotten some inspiration from watching a couple of other Create videos that have popped up in my feed, and I've downloaded a few more mods to help get more decorative and get more creative with the builds. So just to show you what I got, instead of 32 pages, now there's 41. I have a lot more Create mods added. So all the stuff you have seen before, the Factory Must Grow was the last one that I added. And then now we got more railway stuff. Then this right here, the navigator, was the very last item that I had currently. because I'm going to use this as part of the navigation stuff. And then here we're actually going down to create deco, so we have a lot more decorative blocks, which I think would be great to have as an option for more decorations. We also got Dragons Plus. I have no idea how this was added, but it's added. And then we got a bunch of, there's other packages too, and other liquid dyes. Then we have design and decor, and then bits and bobs. Just small stuff like that. That is currently where we are and where we stand on things. So moving forward, we got a lot we need to do, but we're going to take this one step at a time. The main layout, at least what I'm going to do, just as a temporary place for each of these stations at the witch farm and the stronghold, is just going to be a simple passenger drop off and pick up, just a simple station. We're just going to go off of that, have something to start off, and then we're just going to go from there. But first, before we tack on the behemoth of getting the railroad to down there and to the witch farm, we are going to work on the gold stuff first, because that needs to get done. I have a bunch of gold that has yet to be picked up. I don't have it on me nor in the farm. It's just like future stuff. We have a lot we need to do, and we need to get a system to where we can still kill the pigmen, but all of the loot will be filtered out, and it will go into a system to whether it'll be stored and or it'll be thrown away. So that's a lot we're going to have to do. So before we get into the railroad stuff, that's one thing that we have to do to get this done. Okay, so we got about a minute or so before the pigmen get in here. So what I'm going to have to do is that I need to quickly swap out these chests. I need a block. Shoot. Very good. There we go. Okay, I think we're good now. Okay, there might be too many items. Okay, now it's time for an analysis run, just to kind of look and see just what's going on. How do things look? How do they operate? Okay, so we may need to look into doing a double system, to where like one hopper collects one thing, another hopper like comes out to the side, and it's a double line, and because I think there's just too many items here. That's the problem. There we go. Now this right here is where the filter's going to be. The chests, or the system's going to be on this side, and the chest is going to be on this side. Okay, so I need to keep going this way. All right, let's put this final bit together. Okay, how are we looking? Okay, we're doing good. We're doing good. Okay, let me get this. Plop. But I need to keep going. We need to keep going here. Get this out a little bit more. There we go. Very good. And then let me do fire. I don't know. We got 15. Looking pretty good. Okay, now comes the fun part. Let me do this real quick. Just from being there for just not even a minute. I don't think it was a minute, but that's already pretty good. If it's missing all of that and it's just capturing, that's pretty good. So what I need to do is I need to create like a funnel, not all the way down, but just enough for everything to capture at least into here. That way, it can get filtered and processed. So right now, this is basically bulk storage, which is good. It's good that we got bulk storage. This is enough to help us get going for the time being. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is that we need to create a station for the drop-off points so that things can be picked up and dropped off at. All right, let's go to the Nether. Here we go. All right. So I need to stop it here because the track is gonna come this way. So where do I want the station to sit? Really, I don't know how much room I need, but I don't think I need that much. because I have to think this through. So when we picking up items, they're going to be dropping down from the bulk stores. They're going to drop down. They're going to go over here into maybe a vault, and then it's going to go into that vault for pickup. So I think just to kind of, I think with spacing, this will be good. They'll just come this way. There we go. There we go. Now we have an actual turnaround track. That is pretty nice. Alrighty, so moving forward, this is going to be something that's like added on, because in the Nether, there really isn't an easy way to bring a method of energy that I currently use from the overworld. So I decided to go with the approach of using diesel engines, because in my overworld currently, I have just a massive supply of diesel fuel that was just sitting here. And I decided to connect an extension line from this diesel tank. It's going to go from here all the way to this tank on the train so that I can transport diesel fuel from the overworld to the Nether, so that I can have supply of fuel ready to go in the Nether. That way I don't have to worry about any other methods of energy. Thankfully, this is going to work out so well, so I'm super excited for it. Yes, the train's a little clanky, but I think as of right now, this is going to look pretty good. So we're going to make our way to the Nether, and things are going to be offloading onto the left side, because that's how I have it set up. There we go. I may have to make some adjustments, but this is the short and sweet version of what's going on here. So this right here, this is the extension. This is going to be the loading process for bringing the gold up into the vault so that we can bring this back into the overworld. And then this right here, this is where the drop-off is going to be for the fuel that is not here. Why in the world is it not here? This is I just now noticed this. I did not think this through. This is a problem. I did not think this through. I thought fluids would transfer. Maybe it's still there. Ooh, I don't know. There we go. So we got 9 by 9 tank, 72,000 millibuckets, which I think should be suffice enough to make this work. And then the diesel engine is going to go here, and then, or somewhere here, and then boom, we got ourselves power. We're good. Oh my goodness, we got it. We're good. Okay, it's there. Whew, thank goodness. We are good. Thank goodness. Okay, I'm just cranking a little bit of fuel in here. I don't need that much, but I just want to just over prepare. So anyways, fuel is there. It's just not loading. But we got it. Thank goodness. We are good to go. So here is how the farm works. Very simple. I'm going to be up there. I kill here. The items drop into these hoppers. I'm going to update this a little more so that more can be collected. But items are going to flow into here. They're going to go into this dropper. Is going to shoot down. There's some blocks to kind of keep it centered. And everything is going to fall onto these 9 hoppers right here, primarily into the center. Items are going to flow down through this hopper train. So the gold ingots are going to drop in right here. Gold nuggets are going to drop in right here as well. And then when there's an overflow, the gold nuggets are going to flow into this automated crafter that's going to dispense golden ingots and drop them out right here so that they will go into these funnels. And in case there's like any extra overflow for whatever reason, it's going to just spit out into this line right here. And these funnels, or these tunnels, excuse me, they are set to golden ingots and golden nuggets of, excuse me, it's backwards. Golden ingots, golden nuggets, respectively. They're going to flow onto these conveyor belts to keep them separate and into the vault and back to the overworld. And now the fuel is just going to stay here so that there is a method of power being transferred to the engine just so that it can keep running. Now I'm going to have to install some sort of limiter, which is the rotation speed controller. It's going to be this guy right here. I need to install this because this is going to slow it down. I do not want this thing to go super fast. I want to actually, like, be slow because it'll look a lot better. And one thing I forgot to mention, This lever right here is going to control the outputs from the chest. So whenever it's ready to go to be loaded, I just unflick this lever. Things are going to drop onto this conveyor belt, and they're going to roll into the tunnels, and then they are going to get sorted as such. And yeah, this is a very simple thing. So what we're going to do is that I'm actually going to get my required things needed to make this run, and we're going to run it, and we're just going to see what happens. All right. The moment of truth. Okay. We are pumping fuel from the train to here, which is good. This lasts a good while. I don't think I'm worried about that. Okay. How's the speed looking? The speed, oh, this is good speed. Oh, this is really good. Let's see, how is the fuel looking over here? There's still a lot of fuel that needs to be dumped off. Okay. So now, as we're filling up, let's say that this gold is, in here. It's running. Now this is running. I'm just going to open this lever up. And there they go. Okay, so maybe this is a bit slow, but the filtering is working. So let me see what happens if I can pick it up just a little bit. Let's do like 32. Loading up into the vault, which is good, which is what we want. Okay, yeah, so right away there's not a lot of gold ingots, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, this is working very well. I love what I see. Here, let me do this. I'm going to just drop this into here. Let's say some gold's overflowed. It came out, boom, into the tunnel, just like that. Ta-da. All right, pulling away from the station. There we go. Into the depot. Tractor switched. We're moving, approaching the station. Ta-da. There we go. So now, as we are filling up, fuel's going in from the tank, which is good. We love that. Need to make sure that we don't run out, because that will be bad. All right, more progress has been made, and let me tell you, I am very proud of where we are right now with this. So I believe that this part is basically ready to go. Now, there's a big mess with what you can see. Decorations is still going to come in, but just to kind of show y'all how it all works, it's very simple actually. So we got the carrots that's being dropped off on both these conveyor belts. Massive overload, which is fine. It's not an urgent need, but the carrots are being offloaded and dumped into here. There's this vault here, and we got ourselves golden carrots. The golden nuggets are going to come from this line right here. They're going to come down here and go onto this depot right here, and then we got some more golden carrots coming out of that, and then the gold ingots come from the nether. They are going to transport this way and go up and over, all the way over here to the drop-off point to where the precision mechanisms are going to be made. Now we can go on to the good stuff. We are going to be building a lot, and by a lot, we're going to be connecting. Now, even though we're in the nether, I'm still going to show you this. I have installed another mod for the world maps. So this right here is to just give a premise of how things are going to look out. Plus, like, I needed something like this to help me get an idea of where in the world we're going to go. But that will also be good because it will show me our current routes and our systems, so that whenever we are planning, we can execute it properly. So moving forward, we have got a lot of stuff that we need to work on, and we are going to put down a lot of track. We're going to do a lot of track, and we're going to be doing a lot of clearing and a lot of railroad grading. So I'm super excited for that. There's going to be a lot of good stuff coming up. So now it is time to start building the railroad network. Now, what we have here is practically almost 2 full shulker boxes of just bare train track. I say almost 2 because I've already used some of it whenever I was finishing up the Nether loop system. But we have 2 shulker boxes of railroad. No idea if there's going to be enough, but I think this is an adequate start for what we're trying to do. Now, we're going to open up the map, and we are going to try and build our network to right here. So that right there, that is the hole where the stronghold is located. So it's right here. And then we're also going to be building another stretch of track that is going to be used for our, if I can find it, our witch farm, which is right here. So this track, this line is going to be so much shorter than this line, but having this extension would be good as a passenger and as a cargo hole, as a cargo line, specifically for all the drops, because 3 chests is not enough for each item. So in order to bring it back, we're just going to use a train instead of using shulker boxes, and we're just going to just load it up here. But that is going to be our objective for that is coming up, is that we're going to be building the railroads to this line, to this extension down here, and then all the way to the stronghold that's up here. So I say this right here looks like it's a great entrance, because looking down here, we can easily just cut through here, and we're not really going to have any problems going through this entire area. So this is something that I'm actually okay with if we get to about here. If we get a little bit lower, that will be a little better, because I wanted to clear everything that we have going on. I will make it get clear, but just for the heck of it, it's good just to have that as a goal for right now, just to have our sights for what we're trying to do. So I say, because of where we want to aim, I think it's a good idea to have the entrance to the underground part to be about right here. So I'm going to place down these shulker boxes, and I'm going to start with this one because, well, most of it is already gone. So we're just going to do this, and we're just going to place and go, just like so. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the first 18 tracks placed down for our adventure. I don't want that rise there, because if we're coming back down, that we don't need that. That's something that we just don't need. Okay. Let me just make sure that we're connected. We're not connected. There we go. Now we're connected. There we go. Ha! Now we're talking. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Very nice. Here we go. Up. And up. There we go. Perfect. Oh, yes. And look, that was practically less than one shulker box of rail. All that we have to do is just push south. We have to shimmy over to the east a little bit, but I mean, just going south, that's as simple as it'll get. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, now we're talking. Come on now. Let's go. This is going to be amazing. This is going to be just awesome. I think this is a great spot to turn and at least head that way. Yeah, let's do that. So I need to put in a little bit of a lift. That might be too steep. And just like that, with the sun setting, we have completed the second line. We officially have a connected network by rail. The tracks are down. Not perfect. We are definitely going to do some realignments to make things a little nicer, a little more organized. But the network is in, and that is amazing. Let's see, and how much do we have left over? A good amount. That is actually really good. It's great when you over-prepare, because when you have stuff left over, that is amazing. Okay, so let's run it back, because we still have work we need to get done. Thankfully, though, progress is looking really good and looking really tasty. So what's up next is, I mean, we got to dig the hole. We got to dig the tunnel, but we also need to make ourselves a giant machine. I say giant. It's not that big, but it will help us out a whole lot, because we need it bad. Okay, so this is Editor Ace speaking, and we ran into a bit of a problem while I was editing. So it turns out the next few minutes of what you're about to see, no audio was recorded the entire time. This was when I was live streaming, and the VOD didn't export correctly, or I should say, whenever I did the inputs, it didn't export correctly, and there's just a big video of me doing stuff, and there's no audio. So it's time for a little bit of filler of what the heck is going on with what y'all see before you. So for what's happening up here is that we have got ourselves a tunnel bore. Now, this tunnel bore is not pretty by any means. It is a big honking piece of metal, and let me tell you, it's going to do its job whenever we get going. It's big, it's clunky, and the decoration is not that great. I'm working on it, okay? This was just a base. I just needed something. But we are in the works of making something beautiful. No, not perfect as a start, but, we're getting there. And then, we give it a little bit of a test run to clear things out. And let me tell you, it's looking very nice. We're clearing out a lot of the trees. The main reason for this tunnel bore is to drive it along the tracks to clear out any of the debris that could be in the way. Now, whenever I got to the end of the swamp line, I didn't think this through because there was no turnaround spots. So at the end of the line, I had to back up the entire tunnel bore all the way to the station, and that was a very slow and dreadful process because, backing up is a lot slower as compared to driving forward. So that was a mistake that I hope I don't have to remake again. But it's fine. It's totally fine. And then shortly after, we got back to the depot, currently making some adjustments and slight improvements to the tunnel bore itself because I wanted to have an extension car. Really, the realism behind this is to have a sleeper car in a sense to where if myself or other workers are on the tunnel bore, we could just stop, get into bed, sleep, and then keep going kind of thing. So that's kind of what this second car is for. It's not perfect. It's not gorgeous at all, but it's something. It's honestly something. And then we needed to do something that will get this tunnel bore from where it's currently sitting all the way to the other extension, all the way to the stronghold line. So I made out a little tunnel, dug out some track, and I drove the tunnel bore all the way through, slowly but surely, making our way through the whole thing. And let me tell you, it was awesome. Just driving through the whole thing, it looked so clean. Stopping every now and then to place down some torches because it was dark and didn't want any mobs to spawn behind me because, you just never know what would happen. And it just came out so good. The hole itself looks just wonderful. And it was just awesome just to see it wide open. It was a perfect fit, and I'm glad it worked out. And then continuing on, we just cleared our way out through the rest of the rail network to just make it all up to snuff, to just make it appropriate for our train network that we're going to be building. And let me tell you, there's a lot more clearing that needs to be done, but it looks so much nicer now that the tunnel bore has went through. And it just looks a lot better. It's a more of an appropriate fit, and it just looks just so wonderful. And then we just end up turning around, and we just drove back on the other way to clear up any of the extra stuff that we have missed. but it was so nice, and I'm glad we did that. That tunnel board was such a huge lifesaver, and it is awesome. I'm definitely going to make it look a little bit more pretty, but just the time being, this was something just to get the job done, and I am glad that I got it done. And with that, the network is put together, at least for the most part. I mean, the turnaround points at each end, that's absolutely not final. It was just for me to just get the tunnel board turned around so that we could clean up the other ends of the clearing in case anything wasn't a hit. And wow, there is a lot of good stuff. Now, the next thing that's going to be worked on is a little bit of decoration. Nothing too much right now, but sort of just as a head start, as a guidance for what we're trying to do with the railroad. So the tracks right now, they're pretty much sitting like that, and decorations are very bulky, and I can do so much better than this. I mean, like come on, I'm trying here, okay? And we have got to put together a little something that will make things look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. So in combination with the tracks just floating and with this massive tunnel, with just being stone right now, but that is going to happen at a later episode. Now it's really just putting things together and kind of just tidying things up. Now, somewhere in I think it's in one of those shulker boxes, I have some mechanical rollers. And those rollers allow me to place down a variety of blocks along the track. And what I want to be doing is that we're going to be driving along the entire stretch, and we are going to basically just place down blocks as we see fit. And we're just going to just do that. So we have a lot of track we need to hit. The stone is going to stay. I'm going to remove that myself and get like a little bit nicer block. But for example, I think this is a good example right here. There's going to be a bridge right here where the base is going to be smooth stone, and then everywhere else is going to be dirt. So I am going to be learning basically in real time how the mechanical roller is going to work. And then when we go forward from there, I will have a better idea on how it works. But I believe I have somewhat of an idea on how this is going to work with using the mechanical rollers. Alrighty, so now, since we are in a much better position as compared to as we were earlier, we are going to do a little bit of decorating to at least make this railroad look a little more presentable, because, looking behind me, that's not presentable as much, So we're going to make at least this part look a little better. So I got some inspiration from Life Or, which I think is his channel. I'm going to put his channel in the description for the inspiration I got it from, because this dude deserves the credit, really. But this bridge is going to be a truss bridge, and I got basically some of the components, if not all of it, for this bridge, and it's going to be a truss bridge, and we're going to be just kind of just building the truss along this section around. Whenever we get to the curve, it's going to stop, because building on a diagonal, I am not sure how that's going to go, but for the time being, we're at least going to do just the straight part, just as a bare minimum. And then, as we get to the diagonal part, we'll just do like just a more simpler bridge. But I wanted to do the truss because it's pretty cool. I mean, like, how can I go with the truss? So that's the approach that we're going to be taking here for this next little bit. We are going to be basically building a retaining wall that's going to go it's not going to go too far, but something that's just enough to really just kind of make it hit home to where we think we're going to make it fit. So that's looking pretty good. I do need to bring this edge back a little bit so that it kind of can just go into the mountain a little bit in the hillside, just like this. Let me actually make it look like it's in the mountain. It's going to be filled up. Well, it's going to be hollow, but I need torches. I don't have torches. Shoot. Yoink. Yoink. So I got some of these beautiful beams. These beams are like super nice, so we're going to take good advantage of these. Nice. Okay. I'm going to stop this here for now, because I have no clue how much. Well, I mean, I think this is just a good reference. Just kind of just grab our bearings. All right, just went back to the house real quick so I can get some torches. I'm gonna see if this polished diorite would look any good. Nah, I mean it's not too bad, but we will run off of that for sure. Okay. So now we got our beams. Okay, let's see how this works. So what I want to do, so I'm basically building a truss. No way. And I want it to be like a triangle, but I don't know like how big how big do I need it to be? That is too tall. Would 5 be appropriate? Ooh. I like that. But it may look better if it was a 1-to-1. Yes, that looks so much better. Oh, I can't walk on those. Dang it. So at this point, okay, let me back out for a minute. So I'm gonna have to do a bunch of triangles, basically at this slope, because I like this slope. This is a 1-to-1 slope. That is like so awesome. So I need to do something similar along here to kind of get that triangle-like structure for this bridge, which is something that I'm wanting to shoot for. Hi, buddy. That's better. That is much better for what we're looking for. I like that. All right, let's zoom out what we've got real quick. Oh, yes, I am loving what I see. Wow, that is a good-looking bridge. Holy smokes. That is amazing. What a good-looking bridge. This is glorious, dude. Holy smokes. It's looking so good. Okay, let's push a little farther. Yeah. This is looking so good, guys. Holy smokes. Okay, let's knock out the other side real quick, because I am excited to see this come up. Man, look at this bridge. Holy smokes. This is looking really nice. It's just something so simple, but like it just looks so good. I've always wanted to figure out how to do this, but having a reference is so helpful. It is so helpful. And I just can't get over how these slopes are like just perfect angles too. It just looks so nice. It just looks more structurally sound as well. There's gonna be like a base underneath the railroad. It's not gonna be like a full-on platform, but it's gonna give kind of like an illusion that there is one, if that makes sense. I mean, I'm not sure what you're gonna call this, but instead of basically building blocks that's like across the entire length of the bridge, there's going to be like some sort of like platform walking path that's kind of set with these industrial iron trap doors, because it looks like a metal walking path. And then underneath the path, I'm going to use some more of the these girder struts to go like a diagonal pattern like across the bridge to kind of give it more like an actual support. So basically, kind of like how an actual truss bridge is built, there is also supports along the top and along the bottom as well. So using I'm actually gonna get some more metal girders, which I used a lot. I used a lot more than I was expecting, but that's completely fine. I got plenty of stuff. But basically, how this is gonna work, and I believe I have enough here to kind of show y'all. But we're gonna go to this strut just to kind of make sure that y'all can kind of see how this is gonna work. I fell. Okay, it's a little tricky to place down, but the concept is here, and there are going to be these supports that's going to run across the top and the bottom of the bridge, and along these, there's also going to be triangular struts like these, kind of going back and forth as well to kind of give it that extra support-like feel. Now check out this beauty. A quick update. Holy smokes, it's looking really good. Now, I have not done the cross sections yet for the upper part, but just wanted to show you all real quick of just how we're looking. The underside is looking really awesome. In just a minute, we are going to be doing the top side, and Whenever we get that done, we're going to focus on adding in just a little steps, and we're just going to be using just these industrial trapdoors. I mean, it's something super simple, and it looks really, really good. So it's basically going to look something kind of like this. Let me just get on the track here and just, just place these down one by one kind of thing and just move it along. So this is going to be the platform area. Whoops. It's basically going to be used as the walkway for traversing the bridge in case, people need to get out for whatever reason. There is still a method or a mode of access for people to get on and off the bridge if needed for whatever reason. So that is going to be the next step here. So more progress has been made. And let me tell you, I am not sure if this is appropriate for what I'm trying to do, but man, I am liking what I see so far. And look at this beautiful bridge that we have put together. Holy smokes, it looks really good. Got all the diagonals in together to give the bridge some support. I also added some railings to kind of give like just a little bit of an extra safeguard in case if people were to walk on this bridge. That helps out a whole lot. And I am going to, patch this up to make it a little bit more professional, but we got a retaining wall right here that to help with the bridge. That looks really good. I am very proud of that. And then this was a little confusing, or it was confusing and challenging to say the least, because I wasn't sure how I was going to execute this, because we're going from a transition area from the bridge to a different type of bridge, one that I do not know if we can easily do. But I wanted to have this as like just a big pillar that's just been weathered down due to just age with it being here. The detail underneath is like, not the best, but there's more moss in the waters compared to up here. At least I did my best to do that. But the whole premise of this is that this is just like a bridge support thing where the track can transition from straight to the diagonal. And I don't know if I executed this well, but one thing I wanted to do was like this part right here. I meant to stick it out a little bit farther, but I think I'm good with leaving it here. This is supposed to resemble like how track was supposed to continue on, but like it didn't. So that's kind of like what that is supposed to be. But it doesn't really show that. But overall, I'm actually very proud of this. It's super simple, but I think it just works very well, and I am loving it. I'm loving what we got going on here. So moving forward, I have no idea what I'm going to do here. So I need to sit and think about this and get some inspiration, because holy smokes, I don't even know if I can do a diagonal bridge so easily. But if I can, it's just going to be something super simple with probably just a platform and just supports or something with some minor railing. Something super simple like that. But this part of the railroad is basically complete. It looks so good that I am actually very happy with how it has turned out. I have recently installed a mod for Create. It's very, very cool gimmick. It's an advanced filter mod, and you are able to filter items randomly. And depending on like how many items you have in there whenever they're first installed, they are able to have an even distribution, but you can edit it as you go along, and it will just put down whatever you're wanting to put down. So I'm in the works of making some packed mud and some different types of dirt variants. With the mods that I have, I don't have a lot of dirt variants. I can get coarse dirt and rooted dirt, but there's like not much that I can do. But I want to get some coarse dirt because it'll look a little nice, and I also got some packed mud as well to kind of help with the bedding of the railroad. And actually, now that I think about it, I'm not sure if that's going to be appropriate for what I'm trying to do here. But for the time being, I am going to do tough as sort of like the resemblance of ballast on railroads. That's what you typically see. I think I may just stick with that. I'm not sure. I'm still thinking about that. All right. So the next thing that we're going to work on is what you can see behind me is that ready to go pretty much is going to be the groundwork foundation for the railroads that we have just put onto the ground. Now, what's cool about this is that, as I just mentioned, I have downloaded a mod where it's called an advanced randomized filter mod. And this filter is very unique because we're able to put in any blocks, and we can randomize what we want to put in to show like how we want these filters to put down for that's set by the mechanical rollers. So this roller and that roller over here, these have the same distribution rate of 4 tough, 48 packed mud, and 48 coarse dirt out of every 100 blocks that is placed down. So we're going to get a lot more dirt than tough along the edges, but then down the middle, that's just as simple as it'll get. Just to help with the distribution rate, we are looking at a just 100 distribution percentage for tough. So that tough can just be laid out underneath the tracks, and then we can have the dirt and any other blocks set just for the sides. And I have finally got my flashback mod working. It's a fabric mod, but I'm playing in NeoForge, and we're gonna be doing our very first time lapse since a while. So I'm very excited for this. So what's gonna be happening is that we're gonna run this way to lay down the tracks, and we're just going to experiment just to kind of see how things are going to look. So I'm very excited for that, and we get to drive across that new bridge that we just built. So I'm super excited, guys. Let's get to it. Well, this is awkward. I thought this was going to work, but it didn't. Anyways, here we are. So instead of doing the time lapse, I'm just going to show y'all what was accomplished. Because let me tell you, I'm so disappointed that it didn't work out, but it's okay. It is what it is. Overall, it looks it looks really good. It's kind of hard to see, but we got some tough laying out under the tracks with some tough slabs that's been automatically placed down under the track to give it like a little bit more of a gradient vibe. It looks so good. It looks really, really good. And then coming up along this way, this was slight mistake, but as you can see, that's how the that's how the sides are being built with a little bit of variation of tough along the edges, and it's looking really, really good. I'm very proud of how it all looks, but the problem is that I ran out of tough very, very quickly. But yeah, the area actually ended right here. So all the tough started from where we started to about here. It didn't cover a whole lot. It covered a great distance, but in terms of progression, it really only covered about like from here to here. So that's not far. So we need to get a lot more tough to cover up the rest of this track, and I need to get a lot more dirt, coarse dirt, and packed mud, because I'm almost out of those as well. And it just uses so much. I did not think it would use so much. I knew it would use a lot, but not this much. So unfortunately, this is going to be the end of the episode. We didn't do a whole lot here, but I am very proud of the work that has been done. Now, what's projecting and what's going to happen for the next episode is that in between episodes, I'm going to work on the replay mod, flashback, or whatever I'm going to use to make sure that it works first. And then I'm going to actually finish up all of this, get more tough, get more dirt, get more everything, and just place it down and go, so that the tracks can look finished. And we're actually going to be building our stations. So we're going to have 3 stations to build. We're going to build one here, and build one here about where I'm standing. Actually, it's going to be about right here. So that's a lot we're going to do, and we're going to look into more of the Factory Must Grow mod, where we're going to get into casting and other various methods for making new metals. I have already made 4 casting basins. Thankfully, this is, not hard to make. It's not cheap, but it's also not hard to make. And these actually look really good, so I'm excited about using these, because we're going to be experimenting, if I can find it, we're going to be experimenting with coal coke, with magnets, maybe not magnets, but the point is that we're going to be touching this, like the Factory Must Grow, and we're going to be touching electricity as well, because this is going to be absolutely huge, and I'm so excited for that. And that's going to be what's happening on the next episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. I apologize for the very slight inconveniences that has happened, but, as you record, things happen. So that's just how it is. So again, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe. Y'all know the drill. I love you all very much. And please take care, and I'll see y'all next time. See ya. That was a nub.